Well, hello and welcome everybody to the new health conversation. And right away with the sensors, I always tell them everything we're showing you or any pictures before and afters are taken from medical proof. There are 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that are now going to change everything that we ever thought we knew about diet and exercise. They're all available in the public domain. So nothing that we talk about is an opinion. We make no sensational claims. Everything is backed by medical proof. So even though they may be things that seem like they're out of the ordinary, they're actually proven from a medical perspective. So every time that we come on live, we always quote from peer-reviewed human trial studies. Any comparisons we make, they're from peer-reviewed human trial studies. Nothing is our opinion. We have nothing to sell. There's nothing to sell on our websites. We're educators and we're educating the public, and we're using this platform to help educate people. So I just like you to know that. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Isaac. Hello, Kim. So what do you all think? Shocking. Julie safely dropped 7 pounds per week. It's backed by 10. This is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. This will make every single diet out there a real challenge for anybody to think they'd do anything but this. Now, let's take a look at what she did over the course of 5 weeks, effectively. So, and this is backed, like I said, this is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So if you think that you have seen anything like this, please let me know. I'd love for anyone to put in the chat, for example, does anyone really think that regular diets work? This is not a diet, it's a detox. It's revolutionary. There's no calorie counting. It's like nothing you've ever done. And she and everybody else that I'm going to show you who are in the medical studies, so we're referring always to the medical studies, every one of these was in a position where they lost the weight and no one lost any water weight, and they actually gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Now let's take a look at Kristen, for example. How about that? 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. She lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. I'd love for any of you to tell me, wow, Kamala, Guada, No Man, Alvry, Asmi, user 467, user 467 again. So and I'd love for everybody, if you like what you're hearing, tap on the screen so we can get likes. So who else would like to know how in the world is this even possible? But let's go even a little bit more. The next picture I'm going to show you is actually the daughter of a friend of mine who was part of the studies. She lost, look at that, everybody, 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week safely. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. You can see how much she actually shrank. Now again, this is all published in these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. They're in the public domain. You can see them. We've created a website for you, the New Health Conversation. There's nothing to buy on there. If you go there, we won't even contact you. But if you are interested, you can scroll down and get a free coach. And the coaches will go over whatever with you. See, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant, kidney transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. So don't hear me say that. But I'd love for anybody to comment. What do you think about that picture? Is it the same woman? Did we Photoshop it? Is it photo hack? Because it's not. And again, I always refer to the fact that everything we're showing you is available to the proof in the public domain. Now, this, you always hear when you get older, it's really hard to lose weight. Where do you see this gentleman in his mid-60s? How about 40.8 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? But look at his blood work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days. He was not allowed to exercise. And look at his stomach. Look how much his stomach went down. We're going to get into that and all just in a few minutes here. So Sweet and Low, Sunny, Sweet and Low again, Frank Blake, Millie, Chill, Walk, KTY, and Eliza. Again, I'd love to get some taps on that screen to get some likes going, assuming you like this. If you don't like it, then there's no reason to tap on the screen. You understand, for many of you, this protocol could absolutely change the rest of your lives, and I don't say that lightly. Oh, one other, I want to just show you Ken here. Look at that, everybody. How about 34 pounds and 26 inches in 29 days? Look at how much he shrank. That's 29 days, not 29 weeks. Is that, hello, Pico Espinosa. Is that just crazy or what? Look at that. Okay, so I know everybody's curious and anxious. All right, what did they do? How did they make this happen? Am I smart? Yeah, I'm a little bit smart, I guess. I could say that. So someone's just messing with me. Hold on, everybody. I got to get rid of people that do things that are just ridiculous. Okay, anyway, so what did they do? So first of all, this was invented or discovered, created, whatever word you want to use, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, not by us. We have nothing to sell you. There are no products involved. So if you think all of a sudden I'm going to hold up a magic elixir, no, 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 no. When you hear what they actually did, it's going to be amazing. Now, these are rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. They had done 100 studies on humans, peer-reviewed human trial studies, over 40 years. And what they discovered is shocking. In 40 years, 100 studies, they never found a diet where anybody actually lost weight and kept it off long term. Number two, 2/3 of everybody on every diet you've ever been on gained more weight than they lost. And number three, the fact that up to 25 to 40% of the weight anybody lost on any diet when they measured, which they did, was lean muscle mass. Well, that, of course, caused the people to slow down their metabolism. That's why everybody gained back all their weight and more. This is a medical fact. We're not making anything up. These are not claims. This is the medical proof that they have after 40 years of research and 100 studies. The world needs to know this. It's not some fake claim. I see all these other people that are on social media and they're coming on and they're telling you things like, time-restricted eating, you can lose 20 pounds in a month and most of it's fat. The first problem, that's a complete lie. There's no such thing as burning fat. No diet burns fat, no exercise burns fat. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells. Google it, look it up. You'll find that your fat cells either expand or contract. But as far as burning them, it's nonsense. What they might be referring to, and they don't even tell you that, is that the fat cell contains the fuel that runs our body until you go on a diet. What you're doing on diets to yourselves, number one, does anybody even know what a calorie is? Can anybody give me the actual technical definition of a calorie? You're all counting calories on all these diets. None of these diets actually work. So I'd love for any of you to tell me what you think. Why are you counting calories? I mean, serious. No, seriously, why are you counting calories? You're listening to all these other influences on social media, and what are they sharing with you? Nothing but rubbish. They're telling you things like keto, paleo, Mediterranean, that they work. And yet the medical experts are saying now in study after study after study. Let me give you an example. Now again, this is not my opinion. I do not give opinions. I'm not making a claim. Again, you can all look this up. So Tracy Mann, considered one of the top weight loss researchers in the world for 30 years at UCLA and also at the University of Minnesota. She did a landmark meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and colleagues published in American Psychologist, reviewed 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets and exposed the harsh truth. The analysis concluded that dieting itself predicts future weight gain. Did you hear what I just said? That they're telling you that diets are causing you to gain weight in the long run. And it's really pretty simple. Like, let me explain it to you again. All a diet is reducing the quantity of food you're consuming, including the shots, by the way. But what they fail to tell you is when you reduce the amount of food you're consuming, what else are you reducing? It has nothing to do with counting calories, everybody. When you drop the amount of food you're consuming, you drop in the amount of nutrition. It triggers in the brain the starvation mode because your body doesn't run on calories. It doesn't know what a calorie is. Why are you counting calories? Don't buy this nonsense, calories in, calories out. It's total rubbish. There's a projection now within Johns Hopkins Medical School within 4 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. From 1995 to 2025, the obesity rates in North America have doubled. We're being lied to. Do you understand? It may not even be on purpose. They really believe this stuff. They believe that like time-restricted eating is somehow that's going to work in the long run. When the medical proof is overwhelmingly showing it's a complete nothing more than a diet by counting calories. That's it. That's how these researchers invented this. They invented it by what didn't work. So how did she do this? Well, first of all, the researchers, they said nobody's going to count calories anymore. Did you hear what I said? No more counting calories. All right? I have 5 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen to get some more likes going? If you like the content. If you don't like the content, then don't tap. I don't want fake accolades, all right? We're scientists. We're nutrition researchers. We're bringing you the research. We didn't create this. We didn't do the studies. This protocol called R2M, Race to Maintenance, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Is what you're doing published? Is it in any medical journal, whether it's keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating? None of them work long-term. So the researchers, here's what they did. Good for you, Fit Buddha, but that's 14 pounds in 8 weeks. She lost 10 kilos in a month. Did you see that? 10 kilos in a month. And then this one here, Julie, she lost 17 and a half kilos in 37 days. I mean, you can't compare it. It took you, I mean, you lost you lost way less kilos in literally twice the amount of time. I applaud you for losing that, but and by not counting calories, great. But you have to understand it doesn't compare to this. And when you see the medical benefits of this, it's going to blow your mind, okay? And then look at this. Canna, hi bro, I can tell that's a problem right away. But look at this. Look at this. 30 kilos in 3 months. So basically a month longer than you, she lost 30 kilos. Fit Buddha, what do you think about that? Please comment. Yes, she's kept it off for 8 years. I lost 20 kilos in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Every picture I'm showing you, they're 8 or 9 years ago. Look at this one right here, this man. 20 kilos in a month. He's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. That's what this is called. Guess what this is called, Fit Buddha? Race to maintenance. One of the big reasons to do it is to maintain the weight loss. It's not a diet. You were on a diet. You were restricting food. You were doing something, even though you weren't counting calories. At the end of the day, that's what you were doing. But what you didn't understand is that by lowering the amount of food you consume, you lowered the amount of nutrition, which I promise you, 25 to 40% of what you lost is your lean muscle mass, and guard against the fact you're going to. Well, I'm going to explain it to you in just a moment, Fit Moody. You didn't let me get there yet, right? Let's come back and talk about. Yeah, Canna, if your dad's on keto, he should quit it immediately. Here's the medical proof. This is published in Nutrients, one of the biggest medical journals in the world. Let me read to you. The analysis of keto diets presented itself with large reductions in lean muscle mass and increased osteoporosis risk in obese individuals. So the keto diet, everybody, is increasing the risk of osteoporosis. It's not my opinion. It's in Nutrients, a big study, okay? That's the problem. All these diets are just, they're myths. They're smoke and mirrors. So, Canna, that's the thing as far as keto diets go, okay? And again, nothing's my opinion. I'm only giving facts. Okay, so let's talk about for Fit Buddha and everybody. Well, Fit Buddha, I'm okay, but here's what you didn't do, Buddha. You didn't remove a gram of toxins from your body. Okay, here's what we know as human beings around the world. You and me, and you have this syndrome, whether you think you do or not. T is for the toxic chemicals that we're storing inside our fat cells. The D is for nutritional deficiency. The O for being overweight. The S is for stress. This is the only protocol in the world. No diet that you've been on has ever measured even removing a gram of toxins from the body. These researchers, this is first and foremost, Fit Buddha, a detox. It is not a diet. And they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. And they proved that this is removing the chemicals that you and me and everybody else is storing inside our fat cells. Now, lest you think you're thin and you're avoiding this, right? They did a study on 300 really fit people. They did MRIs, and they found around the brain, the heart, the kidney, breast tissue, prostate in men, this white halo, this toxic fat. You can't avoid it. These chemicals are all over the world now. It's all over the world. It's not up for debate, okay? You have TDOS syndrome, so does every person in the world. This is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that happens to me. I discovered it. And what these researchers prove, this is the only diet program on planet Earth that's removing chemicals from the body. That's why if you look at her stomach, look at that. By the way, that's with you exercise. This is with no exercise. No exercise allowed. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, how do you lose weight? Okay, what is the diet, please? It's not a diet, okay? Please, everyone, give me just a minute to explain it to you all. Okay, so I want to explain to you that any form of dieting is some form of reducing the amount of food you're consuming. It has nothing to do with calorie counting, although you think it does. So the researchers, listen, these are the top rated weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. So I'm not Fit Buddha, I'm not giving you an opinion. These are from the top researchers in the world. They had done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years. 40 years. And they determined that no diet ever was allowed people, I hope I'm wrong for you, Fit Buddha, but no diet has ever been proven to lose weight and keep it off long term. Never. Never. None. Zero, okay? So the researchers said the main problem was that the only thing your body cares about is nutrition. So the problem is if you try and do even with the best organic food you can find, when you lower the quantity of your food, you're lowering nutrition. That triggers in your brain the starvation mode. And what your body will do immediately is it'll stop accessing the fuel in your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. In so doing that, it slows down metabolism, whether you know it or not. Over a long period of time, you're going to gain all the weight back and more. I hope I'm wrong, Fit Buddha. I'm cheering for you, not against you, all right? So the researchers put together, which everybody would get, a food list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Nothing to do with calorie counting. It's not a diet. Please don't use the diet. It's like blasphemy for me. This is not a diet. It's a detox. I'm going to prove it to you in a moment. So 30% of the food you would consume would come from your grocery store, and you'd get serving sizes, not calorie counting. Got that, everybody? No calorie counting, right? But only 30, so whatever amount of food you bought last month, only 30% you're going to spend this month for these foods. But here was the key to this whole thing. The other 70% came from foods in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, and New Zealand that represented huge amounts of nutrition in very small quantities of food. So then what they did, they created a new way of you eating food. Yes, called protein pacing. It's so advanced that the researchers, not me, I didn't invent this, so don't think you're talking to me about this. They got a U.S. trademark on something called protein pacing, which basically what she did is 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yeah, no restrictions here, right? Started with these exotic foods around the world. That was her breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, you got serving sizes for that. Dinner from the grocery list, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, you'd be doing 4 meals a day until you lose all the weight. We'll talk about maintenance in another couple minutes, okay? Let me keep going. And then 2 days a week, now here's the key to it. And Fit Buddha, you didn't do this. 2 days a week, she did 48-hour, what's called intermittent, notice the wording here, intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. On those days, no food from your grocery store at all, only these exotic foods around the world. And this time, she ate 8 times a day. Fit Buddha, 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. Do you know the diabetics on this? No one had insulin spikes. Here's what they proved. In a month's time, hunger went down 41%. But here's what blows all this other stuff you're talking about or thinking about away. The researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this protocol was helping the body remove the chemicals. And because we're storing the chemicals in our fat cells, you can see it in our waist. That's day one, the bloating that's caused by the storage of chemicals in your fat cells. You all complain to us about how much weight you have, yes, but you can't believe how much fat you have in your bodies. We got the medical proof that this is removing chemicals from the body. The number one reason to do this is not for the weight loss. It's almost like it's a joke. The weight loss is like the booby prize. But in addition, what else came down? Inflammation. And again, Buddha, you didn't measure inflammation. It's a very sophisticated test. There's no way you measured inflammation. It came down 25% in 30 days. Third, these pictures are 8 or 9 years old. They've kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Some of these studies, as a matter of fact, some of the studies started in 2012, 13 years ago. They have followed the people for 13 years. They kept the weight off. In my case, I lost 20 kilos or 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Let's try to match that on any of these diets out there. The biggest other reason to do it is to get to maintenance. How simple is maintenance? You have the world's most perfect meal for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then every couple months do another 48-hour. See, with all due respect, even the best organic food, I don't care where it is in the world, it's lacking. These nutrients come from some of them from blue zones where people are living to be 100 years old. Don't you want to try to put that in your body once a day? Maintenance is that simple. I have my breakfast this morning was these foods from around the world, and then I already had lunch, and then I'm going to have dinner tonight, And then maybe every couple months I'll do another 48 hours. Remember, the key to do this is detoxification. Now, you may not believe you have toxins in your body. Okay, then Google this, everybody. Okay, including my new friends. Google microplastics in your brain. They're now finding this around the world. Microplastics in our brains and in our coronary arteries, along with herbicides and pesticides and Scotch guard and Teflon. I understand you're all unaware of this. I mean, the U.S. Patent Office gave me a registered trademark for this medical condition that every person in the world has. You can pretend you don't, or you can not. And someone's talking about maintenance. Okay, look at this, everyone. This is the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world, Women's World. This is June 9th of this year, 2025, so about 2 months ago. The two women here, I coached. The daughter is a nurse. She lost, you ready for this? 25 kilos or 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, she lost 50 kilos or actually 102 pounds in a little over a year, and they've kept it off now for 3 years and counting. There's nothing like this. If you look at right there, over 50 protein miracle. That's the magazine saying that. You can't buy an ad and put it on the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world. And then they wrote a huge news story about it inside. They were so impressed with these outcomes. I mean, look at this. A 2-page article, New Protein Miracle Diet. It's not a diet, of course, but that's what the magazine called it. Now, do you really think you think if this was fake, if it wasn't real, you'd be on the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world? Would the women's magazine take that kind of a chance? Why did they do it? Because this protocol had been published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. That's what this is. Can anybody show me anybody on social media with one peer-reviewed human trial study? I'll wait. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen one person be able to give me, you're all following, whether it's keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, Cornish zone, all these nonsense diets. Do you know worldwide now 2.5 billion people are overweight and 1 billion are clinically obese? What do you think's going on? Why are you pretending that this is like, oh, these diets are working? They're not working. It's a disaster. And then you have big studies like I just shared with you. Here's a synopsis. Listen to this. This is the experts talking about diets and what they discovered in these big studies. The grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. Traditional diets, be they low-fat, low-carb, keto, carnivore, macro-counting obsessions, or the latest fad, this time-restricted eating, seduce millions with vows of dramatic weight loss and radiant health. But the brutal truth, etched in decades of unyielding scientific evidence, shatters this illusion. These diets deliver fleeting illusions of progress, followed by inevitable regain of all the weight, negligible long-term medical benefits, and the hidden toll of you suffering a 25 to 40% loss of your lean muscle mass, slowing down your metabolism and your own immune system. Now, they went on. And the reason I said that, I'm going to give you the actual medical results of all these diets, which you're probably on one of them. So that the categories were low-fat. This is what they had an analysis. This isn't my analysis. Low-fat diets, low-carb diets, keto diets, carnivore diets, macro-counting diets, and time-restricted eating. They looked at 12 months. So the diets ranged from the least amount of weight loss in a year was 11 pounds or 5.5 kilos up to 8 kilos or 16 pounds. And they said every diet, when they analyzed, 25 to 40% of the loss in the weight was lean muscle mass. So say someone lost 20 pounds, so either 5 or 2.5 kilos or 8. I mean, it's just, look, this is open your eyes. Oh, go out into the world. Look at what's happening to the world. I mean, obesity is the biggest threat in the history of mankind, according to the researchers. Not me. I'm not saying that. They are. What do you think's happening? You think that obesity from 1995 to 2025 has doubled in the United States and diets are working? Stop dieting. Stop counting calories. Stop listening to these influencers that have no shred of evidence. With all due respect, I see medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness people and health coaches and weight loss coaches. They don't. If what they had worked, they'd have to have at least one peer-reviewed human trial study. Because I showed you the studies that are being on diets. It's pitiful. Pitiful, the results. Now, for some of the people overseas, you probably don't know about Medicare. Medicare is part of our social healthcare system. They just concluded a big study. Wait till you all hear this. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. That's not me saying that. Listen to this. The reviewers of Medicare looked at long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The diets showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What in the world are you doing, everybody? You're delusional, not your fault, if you think somehow that counting calories is going to work. Again, I'm asking anybody, give me the definition of... Maybe you'll learn something if you listen to understand, not wait to respond. I don't get what you're talking about. No diet, nutrition. I fit Buddha. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. You're trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure what it is, okay? What I'm telling you, Buddha, is everything I've shared with you comes from peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Can you show me what you're trying to teach me, apparently, a peer-reviewed human trial medical study? I'll wait. I want to see the proof. Because I haven't ever seen any, okay? Because the proof, overwhelming proof, is that diets are miserable failures, okay? My job is to make you aware. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be responding to. Because you said no diet, nutrition, A, and that's it. So I apologize. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know what you're talking about. So if you can clarify that, that would be great. We have 197 likes. Can we get some more taps on there? Who has a question? Who would like, I mean, do you think, has anybody ever seen, like Julie, like 35 pounds, 17.5 kilos in 37 days with no exercise? Has anybody ever seen anything like that? But you understand, Fit Buddha, with all due respect, that means nothing in the medical world. I'm living proof of what? Do you have any medical proof behind it? If you don't, it means nothing. I know. Listen, I've written 4 best-selling books. I did 20 shows in public broadcasting. I've done 1,500 lectures around the world. And for 22 years, I had stories like yours. It doesn't mean anything in the medical world unless you have peer-reviewed human trials. So don't say you're living proof. I'm telling you, I fought the battle. So unless you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, insulin resistance. Let's take a look at Curtis. In 30 days, look at his A1C. It went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. Now, gut-wise lifestyle, okay? Listen to this. They measured, for the first time ever, the need for insulin came down 41% in a month, period. The diabetics on this had to cut their meds by 50%. So the type 2 diabetic or the insulin resistant, no more a problem. Do you understand? It came down 41% in a month. No diet, no drug has ever done anything like that. So, but Fit Buddha proof, okay. Yeah, but do you have a peer-reviewed human trial study on what you did? Because if you don't, it doesn't mean, I'm not trying to be, for some reason you think I'm arguing with you. I'm not. I'm telling you, I live the reality. I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I wrote 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I work with the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. So I'm here to educate people. It may very well be that what you did worked, but it doesn't mean anything in the medical world. Unless you need blood, stool, urine, fat, liver enzymes, I mean a whole host of studies that you don't have. Did you measure inflammation? I doubt it, because it's never been measured until now. The tests to measure inflammation only have existed in the last 5 or 6 years. So there's no way you could know that. Maybe it's true. I'm happy for you. I'm not against you. But don't try. See, that's the problem. All these people they're making all these claims. They don't have any proof. Proof is not your before and after. Proof is not what you think. Proof is the medical results. Do you have those medical results? And if you do, are they published in the Obesity Journal or in all these major journals that I have right here? The Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, Nutritional Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition, and Nature Communications, the #1 medical journal in the world. Do you all get this? You can change your lives. And we provide you with a free medical website. It's right there, the New Health Conversation. You type that in Google. I'm going to show everybody now. Look, you just go to the New Health Conversation. It'll take you to the link in Google. Wait, Watch, click on the link, and you're going to come to the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. But what is there is the medical proof, including number one, is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who conducted the studies, the number one person. You know what he says? They'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again. They said it's unethical to their patients. Because again, when people come on and give me these opinions, they don't mean anything in the medical world. So let's see, I just joined your live. Can you please elaborate and explain why to do? Thank you. Proof is how you feel, look, strength, sleep, operate. No, Buddha, that doesn't mean anything in the medical world. Why are it's a non-secular argument you're trying to give me. Unless you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, blood, stool, urine, fat, liver enzymes, it doesn't mean anything. Maybe you do feel better. Congrats. But leave it alone. You don't have any proof. Your feeling doesn't mean anything in the medical world. I mean, it's like, would we want drugs to come on the market because someone felt good on the drug? No. Drugs get approved through peer-reviewed human trial studies only, thank goodness. That's our safeguard. So anyway, it's Moon Riz 2. Okay, I'm going to explain to all of you. And Gut-Wise Lifestyle, did you see that? By the way, Gut-Wise, you should know that you're talking to the person who wrote the definitive book in the world with the top oncologist and molecular biologist called Your Third Brain when it comes to gut health. And then we have an enormous study published just recently in Nature Communications. Gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. So I don't just talk a big game. We actually have the proof to back it up. So hopefully you'd be very interested and excited to go to the website because that study, you can go see it. It's right there. On the website, there's nothing to buy. The only thing on there is the medical proof. We won't even contact you if you go to the website. But you can see right there in black above the blue, the new health, you get free coaching. Okay, so let me come back and explain to everybody what they did. So Moon Riz 2. So first of all, this was invented, not by me. I have nothing to do with it. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you, our job is to make you aware of what's available. The researchers who created it are rated the number one weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Okay, the number one people. They've done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years, Minraz too. They never have found a diet in 40 years where people lost weight and kept it off long term. Okay? So they said the failure of all diets is pretty simple. That all a diet is reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. Forget calorie counting. The body doesn't even know what calorie is. But at the end of the day, that's what you're doing on a diet. You're consuming less food. But what they never tell you is, unfortunately, you're also consuming less nutrition. And when that happens, your brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, not enough calories. They don't care about calories, the body. And when you don't have enough nutrition, the brain thinks you're starving to death and immediately goes in starvation mode, prevents you from burning the fat, not the fat cell, but the fuel inside the fat cell, and turns your muscles for energy, slowing down your metabolism. Do you know 2/3 of everybody they studied in 40 years gained more weight than they lost? 2/3 of them. Okay? So they said, we got to change this. And here's what they did. They were able to I'm explaining it to you now, Buddha. Okay, let me explain that to you. Okay, so what the researchers did, they picked foods with one criteria: the most amount of nutrition in the less amount of food, not calories. And they literally give you serving sizes that you would get if you get this: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But see, you got to get out of your mind a serving size. Get into your mind the foods represented huge amounts of nutrition to not trigger the starvation mode in the brain. Okay? Then what happened is only 30% of what food you bought last month you'd buy at the grocery store. Nothing from me. There are no products to buy here. Okay? The researchers, they don't have a company. They don't have any products. This is strictly based on medical research, right? They've been for 40 years trying to find the solution for obesity. They found it, they proved it, it's now published in the biggest medical journals in the world. So what they did, they put together that food list. 30% of what you consume came from a grocery store. The other 70% came from these other researchers who went around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find these foods with huge amounts of nutrients. And some of the nutrients came from blue zones where people live to be 100 years old. So now they had the two foods. And then they invented a new way of eating. This is going to sound crazy to all of you, called protein pacing. What they did, they had her eat 4 times a day, 5 days a week until she got the weight off. And those days are called protein pacing. She started the day with these exotic foods from around the world that you can't buy at your grocery store. That was breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, you'd be eating 4 times a day. Crazy, right? 2 days a week, she did something, this is the most important part of the whole thing. Out of 7 days, 2 days, she did intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, absolutely no food from the grocery store, only these, what the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional point of view. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. Yeah, she ate every hour and a half for 2 hours. You know that diabetics in this, no one had insulin spikes. Number two, now this is the blood work that the researchers did. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. The number one reason to do this, it's a detox. It is not a diet. But let's look at the medical impact. Number one, through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved this, unlike any diet, was helping the body remove chemicals. We have the medical proof. It's not a ploy. Okay, it's not some opinion. It's what happened. They found that hunger went down 41% in 30 days for people. Inflammation, which we all suffer from, everybody has it, including you, a firecracker, anybody else. Yeah, 9 pounds in 10 days. Firecracker said she lost 9 pounds in 10 days. Great. So there's somebody endorsing what I'm telling you. The main reason to do this, other than the detox, is to lower inflammation. Came down 25% in a month. Also, maintenance. These pictures are 8 or 9 years old, and they've kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. So weight loss is the least important part of this. This is sustainable. And any of you that think that you're not toxic, then you might want to go and look up the TDOS syndrome, which is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of a new medical condition that I have and you have and every person on the planet. The T is for toxins embedded in our fat cells. The D is for the deficiency of the nutrition, even if you think you're eating healthy with organic, causing us to be overweight and stress. No other diet has ever been shown to even remove a gram of toxin from the body until now. So the main reason to do this, slowing down metabolism, doesn't exist. That's a oh, really? Where's your medical proof to prove that? It does slow down your metabolism, actually, because they have the proof that on every single diet, 25 to 40% of what they're losing is lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass not only stimulates your metabolism, but it also stimulates your own immune system. So before you start making statements like that, I would appreciate it if you'd be show me the medical proof. It's a direct correlation, lean muscle and metabolism. But more importantly, lean muscle and slowing down your immune system. Now, don't tell me. I lost my younger brother to cancer in 2011. My brother was 6'4". And when my brother died, he weighed 115 pounds. I saw him waste away. My colleague, who's one of the top, if not the top oncologists in the world, I doubt that's you. He's also a molecular biologist. He worked with 2 men who won the Nobel Prize in medicine. He unfortunately taught me that the downfall of every cancer patient is when they lose lean muscle mass. It slows down both their metabolism and, but more importantly, it slows down their own immune system. So please don't tell me something that is nonsense, okay? Nonsense. And again, show me then anything you have where people are losing 5 pounds a week, or a 65-year-old man losing 10 pounds a week, 52 inches, dropping his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in a month. Does everyone see this? Would anyone like to comment? What do you think about this, everybody? So who else would like to make a comment? From your posts is here, Lolita, Stephen, Sunflower, Cares, User, Rena, Up and Adam joined. And if I missed some of you, I apologize, because I can't also concentrate on the medical research and also then, respond to everybody. But it's not because I'm being rude. I'm not being rude. So who else would like to ask me a question? Because again, hello Gutwise, hello Fit Buddha, hello April Wilkerson. Look, you all have the opportunity, okay? You can go, prove me wrong. Go to the website, The New Health Conversation, and look at the podcast with the #1 rated weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Look, The New Health Conversation, there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. We won't contact you if you go to the website. Live chat, Vicky. Now I'm going to try to invite you in, Vicky. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's see, invite. So I'm trying to invite you. Now what happens when I go to invite you, for some reason you reject the invite. So I don't know what to tell you why that's going on. So if you're still there, Judy, if you want to come on again, try it again. I don't know why it won't let me. I click invite and it's not working. See, I'm not a TikTok proficionado. Okay. Co-host. Let's see. Quick invites, co-host with a recommended creator. Make new friends. Vicky. Okay, let me see if I can do this, Vicky. Hold on. Okay, it says joining. Vicky, I just clicked on your thing. The creator declined your request to join the live. Wow. I don't understand. Why is that happening? Let me see if I can. Friends, suggested creators, Vicky. Let's see. Can I? Suggested. I'm sorry, Vicky. For some reason, it won't let me let you in. I'm not excluding you. I guess I'm going to have to learn how to do this. I'm just clicking on what it says, live chat, right? So who else would like to ask me a question? Well, first of all, understand something. She lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle and was not even allowed to exercise. How about that? How about that being something cool? I think your system has too many moving parts. Fit Buddha, you're making an opinion. There's not too many moving parts. I mean, let me ask you a question, Fit Buddha, with all seriousness. This was invented not by you, not by me, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. So do you have tell me what your plan is better than what they have. And again, you've already told me you have no peer-reviewed human trial studies. You have your own results, good. But the medical world, they'll laugh at that. They'll say, great, let's come back when you get a peer-reviewed human trial study. And again, all I can tell you is, you're trying to tell me you've ever equaled anything like that? Because you just told me it took you 3 months to lose what they lost in a month. Boy, that really sounds like a great system. It's not that it's complicated, it's different. Okay, let's just say that. You're making an opinion, but you haven't even done it. You don't know what's involved. Why don't you go to the website and listen to the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world? You're removing no toxins from your body. What's not sustainable? I lost 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. Don't tell me it's not sustainable. Every one of these people, it's 8 or 9 years. You're not 8 or 9 years on this. You're a few months. You're a newbie. So don't make statements you can't back up. That's not sustainable. That's your opinion. Because they're not doing, you didn't even listen. Maintenance is simply these exotic foods around the world for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then why is that complicated? You've got to eat. Also, if you're doing this, Buddha, you need no supplements, unless you're by doctor's prescription for calcium deficiency or iron deficiency. I mean, you're talking about, what are I don't get FOI. What's FOI mean? Oh, foods. I already told you. You're doing proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. That's the food from your grocery store. These other are elements and nutrients that come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet. Some of them are drank as a tea. Some of them are water. Some of them are soup. Some are chewable. It's not something you can buy in your local grocery store. Fit Buddha, if you're happy with what you're doing, keep doing it. But please don't make comments about things you have no idea about. You're making your opinion. It might be valuable to you, but in the real world with real medical proof, it doesn't mean anything. You're giving an opinion. Opinions, we have too many of them in the world right now. We need medical proof. We need something that's really going to work for the masses. We got 2.5 billion people overweight in the world. I mean, I don't know. No, you need no supplements. No, not on this. No supplements. Weren't even listening. It contains massive amounts of nutrients. It has things like 70 trace ionic minerals, which you got none. It contains 22 naturally occurring vitamins, not some capsule that you're taking that was made in a laboratory. So we get some more taps up there. Can we get some more taps up there? Come on, we're at 284. I know we can do way better than that. Fit Buddha, I'm not trying to argue with you, okay? I'm saying if you're happy with do whatever you want to do. My job as a nutritional researcher is to present the facts. No, my opinion doesn't matter. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm showing you this is what happened. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass in a month without losing any weight, and she lost weight 3 times faster than you did. I mean, what do you want me to say? Or April, who lost 30 kilos or 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. Look at her face, arms, body with no exercise. There's no equivalent on the planet like this. How long would it have taken you to lose 30 kilos? About 6 months, according to the numbers you told me. She did it in 3. I mean, and when you look at a 65-year-old man who lost 20 kilos, 40 pounds in a month, and then you see his A1, that's real medical proof. Those are the real numbers. Science doesn't care about an opinion. The facts are the facts are the facts. That's how it works. That's why I love science so much. It doesn't have, unlike me, it has no emotions. It has no opinions. It has no prejudice. Those are the facts. That's the facts right there. What facts you're looking at them is A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides from 242 to 124. What facts? If you went to the website, you'd see things. Here are some of the facts. Fat went down 11%. Muscle mass increased 6 to 9%. Blood sugar went down 6.2%. Insulin, the need for insulin went down 41%. Cholesterol was down 15%. LDL down 13%. Triglycerides dropped 41%. Hunger down 41%. Women lost an average of dress size in a week. Men lost 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. In a week, not months. That's if you wanted to, you can go to the website and all those facts are there. Not my facts. I didn't do the studies. The facts are the facts. They're printed. You got to understand, when you get published in these big medical journals, they publish the facts that they validated. They don't take your word for it as a researcher. It takes years. It takes tons of money to do these studies. And I would say to all of you, if any of these influences or any of these programs you're following, why don't they have peer-reviewed human trial studies? You know why? Because they're making claims they can't substantiate. They can't back them up. But all of you, I mean, I'd love for anybody to make a comment. Again, even for the women or men, if you could lose 5 pounds a week, please, someone give me your opinions on that, or 2.5 kilos a week. I mean, people love to argue with me, but you're arguing with medical science. So logic, opinions don't matter. I told you, for 22 years, I wrote 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 1,500 lectures around the world. Hell, they flew me to China, for crying out loud. But that didn't mean anything because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies, and still they started coming out about 15, 18 months ago. Some of them took 13 years to get published. Who has that kind of patience? I don't. I lost 20 kilos, 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Talk about sustainability. None of these diets have ever lasted. The researchers did 100 studies on every diet out there. They never found one in 40 years where anybody lost weight and kept it off long term. Those are the facts. Because it would be different if the researcher is trying to sell you a product. They don't have any products. They don't have a company. We don't sell you anything. You buy either 30% of your food from the grocery store or 70% from these other researchers that have gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, and New Zealand to bring back these nutrients that don't exist in other parts of the world, where people are living to be 100 years old or older and don't get sick. The blue zones. That's what I want. I mean, you all can do whatever you want. I know most of you are going to go back and you're going to do keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, some variation. But you haven't done nothing to remove toxins from your body, and that's the thing that should scare you to life. You have an opportunity to have your own body be able to help you remove chemicals. None of these other diets have a shred of evidence. Hello, Georgia, Wise Words, Barbara, Francine, Beachview, Glenda, Prosperous, D. Brooke, Maria, Ism, Humus, etc., etc., etc. So can we get some more taps on that screen? Let's get some more likes going here. Can we get a few more likes going? We're only at 284. So who else would like to ask me a question about how did she do this? It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. She wasn't even allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. So who else would like to ask me a question? Or if someone's new coming on, if you'd like to know how did she do that, I'm happy to do it again. We're coming up almost in an hour, and my voice is challenged already. So I don't have a lot more. This is my fourth or fifth live podcast today. So my voice is my most important asset. Well, my brain probably. My brain's okay. Maybe some of you don't think so. Again, all of you, we're here. Look, you can see above our head in blue, everybody, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. You can go there. We will not contact you. It's just the scientific proof. Let me prove it to all of you. If you go to Google and type in the New Health Conversation, you'll see it right there. It'll then take you, New Health Conversation, just like it sounds. Click on the link. It'll take you, there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website, nothing. And all except medical proof. Like number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss researcher in the world. But number three, the actual studies. You can click on there. It'll take you to see the medical proof. I mean, you could Google it on your own because it's in the public domain, but we've made it easy for you just by providing the link to go to the studies. Those studies are not edited. You can't, once they publish them, that's it. They're out there in the world. Everybody can see it. I'd like to know who's on what diet now that has one, show me a diet, any of you, with peer-reviewed human trial medical studies behind it. What would it be? Please, someone help me out here. User 168, James, I'm saying hello. I meant root cause nurse. Oh, is that right? Root cause nurse. That's a great. So if you're a nurse, I hope you would agree that you're not giving drugs to any of your patients that didn't go through peer-reviewed human trial studies. And what is it? Root cause nurse. This protocol we're talking, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, including Nature Communications, which is the number one, including the Obesity Journal, which is one of the biggest as far as obesity. It is the number one journal in the world. So we're not making claims here. I'd love for some support from the medical community. Is it true? That's all I want you to say, that peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's the highest we go in medical investigation. There's nothing higher. It's not a scientific paper. It's not a clinical study on mice and chickens and rats and monkeys. It's on human beings. We've got nurses on here. As a matter of fact, this is the number one women's magazine in the world. And the two women on the cover, I coached them. I know them personally. The daughter is a nurse for more than 30 years. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds at 25 kilos in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, in a little over a year, lost 102 pounds, and they both have kept it off for 3 years. It's actually going on 4 years now. This is the real thing, everybody. You don't get on the cover of this. This is not an ad. You can't buy the cover of the number one women's magazine in the world. Otherwise, obviously, people would be doing it. I mean, again, I don't know what more proof you want. And all we're asking you, go to the website. We won't even contact you. We're not going to contact you if you go there. The only way we'll contact you is if you scroll down, you'll see free coaching. The coaching is free the whole time. The other thing I didn't tell you, 30% of the food you'd buy from your grocery. So take your grocery bill from last month, take 30% of it. That's what you'd spend on these foods based on this. Because the researchers picked out serving sizes for you for proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But only 30% of what you would ingest on this in a month. The other 70% comes from these other researchers who've gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with not just large amounts of nutrients, but nutrients that don't even exist in North America or England or South, wherever. But also that 70% of what you'd spend, those researchers, in the first month, they'll give you 100% of your money back if it doesn't work. No questions asked. Can any of you show me anything like that out there? What would it be? Is it the paleo diet or the keto diet? They're not refunding the food you bought. And no one's arguing that you can lose weight initially in all these diets. But again, when you talk about the top researchers in the world, one of them, her name is Tracy Mann. She's a PhD and done nutritional research or diet specifically for over 20, almost 30 years. Listen to this. This is the summary of one of their big studies. This is not my opinion, everybody, but please pay attention. A landmark UCLA meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and colleagues published in American Psychologist reviewed 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets and exposed the harsh truth. The analysis concluded that dieting itself predicts future weight gain. Basically, they're saying that any traditional diet you're on, which this is not a traditional diet, you're going to gain weight. Not just regain the weight, but gain more weight than you lost. Is that good enough for you? That's not me saying that. I'm not one of the top weight loss researchers in the world. I'm the researcher of the researchers, and we bring this research to all of you to prevent you from this dead-end collision you're headed in right now. If you're on a diet, you're going to lose weight and gain back more weight than you lost, at least 2/3 of you. Does that sound fair to all of you? Hello, Andrea. Hello, Neat Sang. Hello, Rhymy. Hello, Maria. Hello, Cag PX, Kylie, Lorak, Zerus, and lots of other people. So can we get some taps? I'm going to close this out in about 5 minutes. Do any of you have any final questions for me, or you want me to go over how they did that? I know there's new people coming on, jumping off. You're thinking, oh, this isn't real. Can you take, what if this, okay, so let's say you're that skeptical, you don't believe it's real. Can you take the chance that what if it is real? What if that is real? What if you could lose 5 pounds a week with no exercise and gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass? Or how about Julie? How about losing 35 pounds in 37 days? That's 7 pounds a week with no exercise. Or my friend's daughter. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? That's 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. Do any of you have anything like that? You're all excited about 1 pound a week on a diet. You know you are. Be honest. If you're skeptical, it's okay. I get it. But are you trying to tell me there's anything you've ever done or seen like this? And it's not a diet, it's a detox. Does that make sense? Hello, Rosemarie. Hello, Millie Bell Shaw. Hello, Bontu. Again, is anybody curious about that? Is it the same woman? Is it photoshopped? Are we trying to trick you? No, we're not. How great is that, everybody? How great is that? Who else? Okay, so user 819, Ali joined us. Bontu. Hello, Bontu. How are you? This is live. This is not pre-recorded. It's not an infomercial. It's a medical podcast that you can tell any of your friends about. Do you all see in blue above her head the new health conversation? Because I'm going to be ending this pretty soon, just in case you don't hear the whole thing. That's a free medical website for you to go there. If you go to that website, the new health conversation, we won't contact you. We're not going to contact you. Why do we need to? That's the medical proof you all can see. So Bontu, I would invite you, Millie, Rosemary, any of you, I would invite you to go there and look at the medical proof. And then, if you like what you see, you get a free coach. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids, people with a heart transplant, kidney transplant, people with no gallbladders, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical diseases. And it's all there. This protocol is published in the 10 biggest medical journals in the world. They validate it. They're telling you it's safe. So who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? All right, everybody, I'm a minute and a half away from an hour. My voice can only give so much, but if anybody wants to ask me a last question before I sign off, but listen, so you don't miss out. Bontu, that's great. Well, Bontu, what do you think about that picture before I lose you? Just put it in the comments. What do you think about that? 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. But the main reason to do this is not for weight loss, it's actually to detox your body. So Bontu or Sevens, anybody, I'd love to hear your comment about, do you think that's the same woman, or do you think we're faking, we lied to you? Yeah, she looks great. I couldn't agree with you more. So Bontu, do you understand that website above her head in blue? Do you see it there, The New Health Conversation? You can go there. We won't contact you. You see the medical proof. But Bontu, if you like what you see, you get a free coach. And you're buying no products from us. There are no products to buy. You're going to buy 30% of the food from the grocery store. You actually had to grow. She is the same woman, absolutely, 100%, same woman. But Bontu, you understand that The coaches will show you a grocery list you'll take to the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But only about 30% of the food you bought last month from the grocery store you'll buy with this protocol. The other 70% comes from these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Again, the coaches will show you how to buy directly from the suppliers, not from our coaches. We don't sell you anything. There are no products involved. This is food. So Bantu, what they did, and for everybody to hear this, they created a brand new way of eating those food groups called protein pacing. So Bantu, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these foods from around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. They actually ended up getting a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of this new way of eating. So 5 days a week, you're having 4 meals a day until you lose all your weight. I'll talk about maintenance in a moment. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, she was eating 8 times a day. Yep. She ate every hour and a half or to 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. So the blood work, they did blood, stool, urine, fat, muscle analysis, enzymes, etc. in these studies. And what they proved, this is not a diet. You know what it is? It's a detox. And they proved through the blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, this was helping the body remove the chemicals we're storing in our fat cells. That's why she shrank. Because what our body's doing to protect us, it's taking the chemicals we're breathing, drinking, eating, and taking them and stuffing them inside our visceral fat. That's the fat around our organs. That's why most of you complain to us. It's not just the weight that bothers you, but the amount of fat you have in the body, especially on the abdomen, etc. And if you look at her stomach, or go back and look at Kristen, you see the bloating in her stomach on day 1. Let me get my head out of the way. And then look at her on day 30. That's with no exercise, no sit-ups, no anything. This is not a diet. So the number 1 reason to do it is detox. You know what the number 2 reason is? Lowering inflammation, which we all suffer from. It went down 25% in a month. No diet has ever produced anything even remotely similar to that, if that makes sense. Okay? So the point is that the main reason to do it is to detox, lower inflammation, and then the third part is keeping the weight off. This picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. All the pictures I'm showing you, whether it's April, 8 or 9 years. Curtis, a 65-year-old guy, loses 40.8 pounds and 52 inches in a month. And look at his blood work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, everybody. And he's kept it off for 8 or 9. Look at his stomach. Look at how much his stomach went down in 30 days with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise. They made him wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Why? Because they didn't want to exercise. Otherwise, you'd say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No. And you can exercise on this, of course. You can go over that with your coaches. I know it sounds too good to be true, but can you take the chance to not go to the website, which is free, and we won't even contact you, to see the medical proof? You're cheating yourself of something that could, all of you right now have no idea how bad you actually feel. You're going to get mad at me when I say this, because you don't understand how good you could feel. You're doing nothing to remove toxins from your body. Nothing. Zero. You think it's a good idea to store toxins in your body? I discovered the medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. I have TDOS syndrome, so do all of you. T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. Peter Greenlaw, that's me. I discovered this. It's registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office of a new medical condition that you all have. What are you doing about TDOS? Did you even know it existed, any of you? These chemicals are doing really bad things to us. Really bad things. So Bantu, does that make sense? I know I went through it quickly, but I didn't want to sign off without telling you the thing. So where can I get the book? No, Bantu, I don't want you to buy the book. Do not buy the book. Don't buy the book. Bantu, look, Bantu, here. The best thing you can do is go to the website, go to Google, the New Health Conversation. This is a free medical website which has updated information. I wrote this book almost 10 years ago, so there's all kinds of new information. There's the website, Bantu. There's nothing to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number 1's an exclusive interview with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who invented this, and they have no products to sell. Bantu, do yourself a favor, go to that website. I want to, please. No, I don't know, because otherwise then people accuse me of trying to sell them books. There's nothing on that website to buy, and so I just keep it neutral. You can Google my name and maybe you can find it, but I'm not promoting anything. I can't. The censors are very sensitive. I'm not selling anything, nothing to buy. You don't buy anything. There's nothing to buy on that website. And then you get free coaching. Free coaching, Bantu. Why wouldn't you go there and look at that? Will you go there? I will. Okay, great. And did you write it down so you know the new health conversation for all of you to go there for free to see? And you get free coaching, all of you, free. I mean, wow, I've hit the time limit now. I go, hold on, everybody. I need to expend the time limit here a little bit. See if I can do that. Hold on just a second. Oh, whoops. Try again. Okay. Good. I extended the time. Sorry, I went. If you go over an hour, then you have to extend the time some, right? I'm going there. Good, Bantu. But who else would like to ask me a question before I close this out? Because we're now at an hour and 5 minutes, so I already went 5 minutes over what I thought my voice could endure, right? So if no one has any more questions for me, I'm going to end this podcast. Now, let's see. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'll probably come on the air at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's, 8 a.m. 6 a.m. my time, sorry. So 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Central Time, and I'm in the Rocky Mountains, so I don't think you'll be up when I get up. Maybe you will, I don't know. But anyway, to make a long story short, we've provided you the medical proof for free. There's nothing to buy. There's no fear. If you go there, we're going to call you. We will not call you if you go to that website. The only way we can contact you is if you contact us, and we don't sell anything for the sensors. There's nothing to buy here, nothing. The only thing there is the medical proof. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. And GT Bugs, I know, and Sam, you're coming on late. You can go to that website right above her head there in blue, the New Health Conversation, and you'll see all the medical proof and the explanation of how she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. Okay? All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off now. Have a great evening, afternoon, tomorrow, wherever you are in the world watching this. And I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.